When I first heard about the giveaway, I was at work, and a member of this church had been trying to get me to come, had been asking me, come to church, do this, do that, and I was like, I'm not going. At that time, I was agnostic. I grew up until about 6th, 7th grade in church, and then decided it just wasn't for me. Well, at that time, my family, we were living in a house you could see daylight through the windowsills, so we needed food. I thought, okay, it's a ham, whatever. My impression was that I was going to walk in and I was going to hear some old man come walk out on the stage and tell me about how I needed God in my life, how it needed to be, what I needed to do, and that wasn't what I found. I walked in and the pastor came out and he talked about himself, how he had been broken. I found myself in some of the things that he was talking about. And when I found myself in some of the things that he was talking about, I started realizing that, maybe it was okay to be broken. Maybe that's where I needed to be at that time.
I've always been excited about outreach because we have done many events in the past, anything to be able to draw in the community into the church and be able to present the gospel to them. And, I was always excited and always passionate about seeing that come to pass and being involved with it. But we really there was something missing. We never really saw fruit from a lot of the events. And, we had a few people come back and be a part of what the church was doing, but never any real fruit. And this was a new style of outreach that I'd never experienced before in my life. The things that changed was that we saw real fruit. We saw God involved. And it wasn't just a very few, but it was many that was coming forward in doing that. And I got hooked. I was excited. And I'm gonna go forward to the time that we had the ham giveaway, and remember Jennifer and her testimony. Well, I had the great opportunity. God gave me the opportunity to pray with that group.
The Spirit was with me. I was moved, and when I came to the front, I'm about to start doing it now. Tears were running down my cheeks. There were at least 3 people that I know still to this day that talk about how they've never seen anybody cry that much. I was prayed over. I felt forgiven, and I felt like this is where I was supposed to be.
It was our first time, and we had so many people coming forward to receive Christ, to make decisions for Christ in their life. It was really almost chaotic because people were all lined up at the altar. And so it was exciting to see that people were being prayed for. But we had this group of people, and we had Shirley, we had Eric there, and we had all these people, and Jennifer was just weeping because she was just broken before the Lord. And it was exciting because then the Holy Spirit just took over and said, pray with these people.
Another girl that was standing there with me asked me to come to church the next morning. We came, and I've been coming ever since. I don't really know any other way to explain what happened that day other than God was here, the Spirit moved, and it moved me forward in my own life.
This is the first experience I ever had in this type of an event to be able to share and pray with a group of people like this. And that was the most exciting moment, and that was the beginning. That was the beginning of knowing that God was going to do a great and mighty work through these outreach events.
Well, the outreach event we came to, it was Casey Wolf. He told us about his injury and how he came back from it, and it's really impacted my life, my family's life.
It affected our whole family. We were told by many people that they could see a change in our family. I guess when we came to the outreach, we weren't expecting to find a new church.
My impression of what an outreach event would look like, I really didn't have a clue because we had never really done the giveaways or anything like that. But when I came to our very first outreach, I was actually thoroughly amazed at the turnout from our community, for one thing, but then also our churches, the people in our church that actually came out for that event in itself was it was really pretty cool to see our own people coming out to be a part of something bigger than themselves. So that was really cool.
The church itself and the quality of all of the people's love for us was just unbelievable.
We were able to reach a lot of people in our community at one time through the outreach. So it was definitely well worth the time and the money and the effort that went into that.
It was life-changing for us. We have led almost all of our kids to Christ since the outreach event. We're continuous members of the church and are constantly being fed the gospel.
I think if people are skeptical to do an outreach event, it's just because they have not done one before. But if they would dare to step out and be a part of something like that, I think their whole attitude towards that would definitely change. It was a blessing, and it was an opportunity to pray with people, and I think sometimes we're afraid to do that, and especially with people we really don't know. But once you see them at an altar and really seeking, your heart just goes out.
Well, we was kind of down at that point. We was wondering how we was going to get the kids' school supplies. And we came to the back-to-school outreach event. We sat through the gospel, the word, and we got our supplies, and we got free pizza. We didn't come back quickly after that, but we can tell things changed. We started to look for a church, and we ended up back here a month or so later. And it's been real good for us all the way around.
When we came for the back-to-school giveaway, I had actually only signed 3 of my children up for the giveaway because I wasn't for sure if my stepson was going to be with us. And they took all the kids back to play a game while we sat through the message.
You know, my impression of outreach events before we've done outreach events here lately were like special days like Easter and Christmas, and maybe a dinner here and there for the visitors, or all church dinner. Since then it's just changed so much in my mind that I really thought, back then we were a lot more inward focused, and we were worried about the people that are strictly in our congregation, and now knowing what we know now is we're so much with the outward focus now, and our attention is not on ourselves but it's on others.
Just before the message was over, they brought the kids back in, and the boys just automatically told me how much fun they had and how they wanted to come back to church here. And so we go back to get their supplies, and Beth Jacket goes to give all 4 of my boys a bag, and I told her that I didn't sign my stepson up because I wasn't, I wasn't aware that I was going to have him that day, and I knew they had to be there. And Beth told me to come back at the very end, and whatever supplies were left, then we could go through and make a supply list and get supplies for my stepson. And I think that in itself just spoke volumes to me that somebody would understand how much help somebody would have needed at that time for them to have to come.
Since the outreach events, man, what a blessing that's been to see that this many people come forward on any given outreach day and have the privilege to pray, not only with people in our community, but people from other communities as well have come here from surrounding towns. And we know that now we've actually planted seeds in the surrounding towns and in individuals there that can take it back to their hometown.
Attending the outreach event, the back-to-school outreach event, it was just, Well, we were going to get supplies. All we had to do was sit through a 15-minute spiel. We were good to go, just going for supplies. And then we got here, and the minute we walked in the door, we had just this welcome from everybody that we even came in contact with.
What I would like to say to somebody that's skeptical about being involved in an outreach event is to jump in with both feet, get involved really quick, sign up, and commit to doing whatever it takes to make that outreach event successful. Pray up, and God will bless your efforts, and you'll never be the same afterwards.
That outreach event was the biggest change that has ever happened in my life. I went from being someone who was broken and lost to someone who found a family that started to become whole again.
It's a blessing to be a part of something that's bigger than yourself, and to pray with people and make a difference in their life.